Hey, it's David, and excited to be here with you today to talk about how to get your mojo on with women and in life. Okay. You'll see that I'm mentioning here not just women, but and life. Hint, hint, they may be connected. Okay. And so, going to be talking about 5 points here today to really help you get your mojo up, get your mojo back. I had an email come in from a guy yesterday who was a bit of an older gentleman in his early 60s that was struggling with, finding his mojo, certainly with women, but not just with women, but with life, right? And so it inspired me to make this because, I get inspired by comments and things I see you guys do because I want to make stuff that's going to help move you guys forward, of course. So I'm listening and watching and seeing what you guys are commenting and if you're emailing me or whatever. And, some of you might think, well, of course, he's in his 60s and this and that. And so he could lose his zest for life. It's really not true in the sense that I've seen young people that had a, supposedly old vibe. Well, I'm saying old here. I've seen, young people that had a really old vibe, and I've seen old people that had a really young vibe. Now, we don't talk about stuff here that is mainstream, quite frankly. And I'm not interested in mainstream. I'm not interested in perspectives that, well, it's just the way it goes in society, how people are in general. Is there some truth to that? Sure. But see, that's not my interest. That's not why I became basically a coach, right? A coach for high achieving, successful guys, helping in relationships in particular. But, coaching tends to go in multiple directions. It's all connected. Okay. How we live our lives. We like to think that we live our lives in compartments, and it can be useful to break things down into compartments like health and wealth and relationships. But ultimately, it's one continuous life. Okay. And it's really easy. It's true. It's easy for older guys to get caught in that mentality of, well, I'm just older and I've lost my zest and this and that. It's a trap, I'm telling you. And so we're here to help, whether you're younger or you're older, whatever you might be struggling with, stuck with, whatever, and addressing, getting the mojo up, getting it with women, but certainly it's going to be connected to life. Hint, hint. So, as always, smash the like button if you like what you're hearing along the way. Comment below, say hi, drop a question if anything resonates, and then share it out. Share it out with others and other guys who might be wanting to help with this stuff. And it's easy to do. Just click share, okay? If you're so compelled to do it. So, if you don't know me, I'm David Hamilton with Core of Confidence. I help high-achieving, successful men rock their dating and relationships with women, get their 10 out of 10 love life, and ultimately on the way to finding their ideal partner, right? That amazing woman that they want. And of course, having fun along the way is not so bad either. And that's usually how it needs to go anyway. So might as well do that, okay? And some guys want to have fun for longer, right? Out of a bad relationship or divorce or so on and so forth. Okay. And do want to make sure that if you haven't seen it yet, make sure you check out my free workshop, my masterclass, Attraction on Command. You can go to attractclass.com. And if you're listening in the podcast version, which I've been putting out there now, which you should also know about and check out, go to attractclass.com and make sure that you get registered for that and watch that. Okay. And so again, talking about how to get the mojo up, how to get it back, how to get it out, right? How do we get attracting these women, and how do we, maybe you're a little down on the mojo in your life. Okay. And that's affecting certainly how you show up with women, but how you're showing up, right? Happens to all of us. Okay. And so the first things first is, so there's a lot of talk out there about passion and purpose, right? For men. I absolutely think it's true that the man on fire, the man with passion and purpose, is a force to be reckoned with. Now, given that, easier said than done. the thing here is, if we think one certain area of life, so for instance, I got a lot of guys coming to me, my life would be complete, and it makes sense. Hey, my life would be complete if I had that woman and special someone. And, even like Napoleon Hill talks about in Think and Grow Rich, having that supportive woman by your side can make you uber successful and more successful, but you got to find that quality woman, right? But still, the thinking around, well, if I have this life, then, area of life, and I just had that woman, then, everything would be top notch, right? Well, unfortunately, that creates a needy type of vibe, which does not help you not only with women, but it doesn't help you in life. And it doesn't help you with business success, which, you've already created a level of that, most of you, if you're here, right? Maybe not all of you, most of you is high achievers and successful guys. And some of you that are successful, right, are successful, but you don't love what you do, which can be an issue. Now, there is a lot of talk out there about you need to be ultimately what you love, and that will be, best for you in terms of, generating more wealth and money and stuff. That's what you want, to whatever level you want, right? And I'm here to say that that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure to have to, and what it tends to do is cause guys to get into this rumination thinking, I must find the one thing, but it doesn't work like that, right? It's step by step. It's Kaizen. A lot of times I talk about with my clients, that little bit of progress. It's Kaizen, it's incremental, and that incremental leads to the exponential, but it's in the little, it's in the small. We live in a society, a McDonald's society, I like to call it, McDonald's thinking of, get it now, get it instant, get it this, get the picture, get the what. But anybody who's successful knows that success isn't fucking created that way. It's just not. It's not. It never will be, as far as I know it, in that sense. Or, what seems to be somebody that's an overnight success. There was a lot of stuff nobody ever has seen, but social media and the way things are portrayed, it's like, they're this and they're that, and all the stuff that went behind that person's success. It's probably worse with celebrities. People tend to think celebrities have it all and this and that, and that they are just celebrities. Those people work their butts off, and they continue to. And I think in a way, social media has done good things to show that, behind, if celebrities are willing to open up and show what their life is like, that it's been tough, but there's still always this disbelief that I'm down here and they're up there or whatever, right? So my first thing here is you got to work to set other areas of life on fire, okay? If you're not on fire in career, business, maybe it's like, for instance, recently, I found out my mojo was waning a little bit, so I got into something called Krav Maga. Okay, I've done martial arts before. It's technically not a martial art. It's a fighting system, a self-defense system, but it's quite an aggressive one, and it's really fun. And it's got me feeling like, well, I was pretty dead tired today because I worked out really hard at the training session at the class, but it's got me feeling more expansive and more like well-rounded. Okay, and well-rounded is a great thing when it comes to being attracted to women, having some dynamicism to you, not just being a little one-trick pony or, having a bunch of money and success and that's it, right? There's nothing interesting or varied about you. But really it still comes down to you and how you're feeling about you and your life, right? And so I don't tend to like the word balance, because high achievers we haven't succeeded by being on balance. I think balance is a bullshit term created for the mediocre. It's more about harmony, because sometimes you're going to be able to take a bunch of time off and take those vacations or whatever, but you're going to be working in your business or in your exec career, and you're going to be crushing it, and you're going to have to be putting in those hours at some points, right? Putting in the time and the focus that others haven't been willing to, for you to get the level of success that you've achieved. And of course, you want to achieve more and more, right? And again, you don't have to, but you're a high achiever, so that's what you do. That's what I do. It's like, we won't settle for less than the best. And if you're settling for less than the best, then you need to get off that, or you need to go elsewhere. If you're not, if you're like, what is this high achiever stuff? Well, you're not in the right place then. Sorry, that's okay. That's just not what we're about here at Core Confidence, okay? And it includes with women, okay? You having the best that you want and that deep down you know you deserve, even though you might be struggling with women right now, because it is, right, what has gotten us success in business typically doesn't work the same way with women, right? It's one of those really weird counterintuitive things. So let me see what we got going on here. So yeah, just seeing if there's any comments. Yeah, just make sure to drop a comment if you what your thoughts are, whatever. Not whatever. Want to hear your thoughts or any questions, okay? And so take a look at your life and see, you know, sometimes it's health, okay? If you're out of shape, you know, there's just this total fucking bullshit that goes on these days. And it happens with women and all these like fat women that are being glorified in the media. It's disgusting. Now, the reason I'm going to tell you it's disgusting is not the reason you think. It's not aesthetic. It's because it's extremely unhealthy for these people. Their joints are going to get fucked up. They're getting fucked up. Their internal chemistry is fucked up. It's bad for society. Okay. I'm not talking about they have to be completely skinny. And I'm not talking about that at all. Okay. There are women who can be bigger boned, but they're muscular, or they're, they're bigger, but they exercise, they work out. Okay. But they don't have small frames. So they're not going to look like that. And in fact, that wafy model is disgusting to me as well, because that wafy model who doesn't exercise and doesn't eat is not healthy either. Okay. And so, it's really, really bad. And it's this whole political, social, cultural bullshit that's going on. And it'll pass, because unfortunately, those people that are really overweight and stuff are headed down a path of even worse health for other conditions. Now, the thing that's really interesting about weight that I've learned from friends that are mentors or coaches with weight loss is that it's an emotional issue ultimately. Okay. Again, I haven't struggled with weight immensely. I have what's called the skinny fat body. So I have my own challenges. I can't put on muscle and I have fat in the wrong places. That's the skinny fat guys. There's the ectomorph, the mesomorph, and the endomorph. Skinny fat is neither of those. It's like somewhere between the ecto and the endo, right? And doing something like Krav Maga, full body stuff is helping me tremendously, right? Body weight stuff makes me feel stronger. And I'm not interested in looking the best and being all cut. I'm interested in having functional fucking body that's strong and fast. And, when you see those big muscular guys and stuff, that's cool. That's their thing. That's not for me, because I know how not functional those guys are in a lot of ways. Also doesn't mean that they have any good cardiovascular breath. And again, I'm working my way to a new level of fitness here, right? So a lot of time in this first point, but get your shit together. If you're crushing it in your business and career and your health isn't, start doing something. I don't care if it's a 30-minute walk or 20-minute walk each day to get going on something to make you feel better. If it's looking at intermittent fasting, look at intermittent fasting, because it's a real deal. Our bodies are meant to fast. We're not meant to be eating all the time, guys. It's consumer bullshit. The best thing I ever heard from a workshop I went to once was our minds are meant to be clear and our bodies are meant to be active, and like really active and like really used. Okay. We're not meant to be sedentary. I'm not really meant to be sitting here in front of the camera and the lights and, so, and I notice how I feel. I feel better when my body's more active. Right. So you got to take a look at your life honestly and see what isn't. If it's not on fire, at least it's not going in the right direction of being on fire. And that's the good hard look you got to take, okay? Because there's too much coddling out there. There's too much. Everybody gets some metal bullshit. Everybody should everybody should be accepted on a human level. But that everybody should just succeed without putting in the work is just such bullshit, okay? It's just crap. Okay. And it's going to apply to women in your dating life too, by the way. Okay. So it applies to every area of life. And thank God there are guys out there like David Goggins. If you haven't seen David Goggins, go look up fucking David Goggins. Okay. And look up his story and where he came from. Now that dude is an ultra high achiever. I'll never be a high achiever like that. Well, maybe I will be, but I don't currently plan on being. And David Goggins would probably say, he always says, stay hard. Right. And he's like, you're being too weak-minded. But he never looks at somebody and goes, just because they look a certain way, it's all about the mind, right? We talk a lot about that here because it's all about the mind. The mind drives everything, okay? So anyways, I need to move on to next point because I got a call coming up in 20 minutes. So second thing I want to talk about here is I want to talk about if you want to get it together, I suggest highly that you drop the dating apps because they're killing your confidence and the ROI sucks on them, and you need to get into meeting women in person. Okay. And the swagger, the mojo, the things that you can translate meeting women in person, it's completely different than doing it online. And let's say somehow you do dial it online, which the system is rigged anyways against us to find actually a healthy relationship, because the dating apps will lose 2 customers at once if somebody gets into a relationship. It's in a book, Explosive Growth, a business book that talks about one of the top tier dating company that figured that out. That, you're going to have to back it up anyways. You're going to have to be an attractive guy, a quality guy. So if you're not a quality guy right now, and look, I know you've got the career on lockdown and business on lockdown, right? You should, if you're watching this, or you should be, doing whatever you can to do that, but you should have that on lockdown. You need to get your health in shape, right? You need to get your confidence up. You need to get your mind right and all this stuff. And you have baseline social skills. If you're just not good socially in general, you have to work on that. Okay. Because women are people too. And this idea that you're just going to swoop in and get the woman without having good people skills, okay, it's a crock, okay? You have to have that, okay? And if you want to get the highest quality women, which is what you want, right? So you have to do that, okay? So I just suggest drop the apps, because all the time you spend on the apps are times you could be working on improving yourself, okay? On improving you and creating a life that you enjoy, which is ultimately going to attract higher quality women anyway, okay? Rather than some dysfunctional whatever that you met and you have your issues and she's got hers, and like attracts like when it comes to this stuff. So there you go, okay? Next, the third thing here on that note, which is, yes, if you don't have a social life, get it or expand it if your social life isn't working for you, okay? If you're, let's say, if you're a hardcore gamer and all your friends are online, I'm sorry, but there's no women there. Or there might be some women there, but usually there's not many women in the gamer circle and you're all online, right? I don't really know gaming culture tremendously. I play some games here and there by myself, but I'm out social, doing my thing quite a bit, okay? So it's the best way. Studies show that having social connections makes us psychologically healthier, okay? That we actually feel better, that we actually are more fulfilled in our lives when we have those connections and relationships. And there's so much more than just women that you get out of being social, just by being out, okay? Now, of course, you got to work on your confidence. You don't have that. You got to work on your social skills, conversational skills, all that stuff. Yes. Just going out and sitting by yourself forever and ever isn't going to necessarily get you the connections, relationship you want, or meet the women you want. But it's better than staying at home, because it's going to push you to go, well, I'm out here and I'm not really talking to people or whatever, and I feel uncomfortable and some social anxiety and stuff. And it'll push you to improve, knowing that you need to be out. And I'll tell you something really interesting that I just learned today about Facebook itself. Okay, this is fascinating. So Facebook has made a big claim that they're shifting into featuring, not making the news feed, which we all see, the center of Facebook, but groups and events, which are the two things that people use to connect locally. And I'm constantly pushing my clients to get out and about locally. Of course, right? I even push them to use features on Facebook. Lo and behold, I've used them to find out about plenty of things and then invite friends to or whatever, right? Meet women and meet people and all this stuff. So Facebook has figured out that one of the problems with online stuff is a disconnection. You're not actually meeting with freaking people in person, right? It's a big problem. It's a human issue of disconnection. So that's very smart of them, okay? So it's going to, look, social media is pushing you that way anyway. Why don't you get a jump on it and get the fuck out there if you're not, okay? And if you are, awesome, okay? This is a little tough love session here. Okay, I'm in tough love mode, probably because I was kicking in neon pads and stuff today or whatever, as aggressively as I could. All for fun, all in safety, right? Whatever at class. So, yeah, get out there. And if it's not working, you have to go where there are more women. You can't expect to show up at chess club and there's no women there. If there were women at chess club, great. You can't expect them just to appear out of nowhere, okay? And you've got to work on you, and have your shit together, right? And I'm sorry, but there's just this, sometimes there's this stuff out there about, it's this mainstream thinking, and friends and parents will say it to you because they don't want to hurt your feelings, right? They don't want to hurt your feelings, which their intentions are good, but it's not what you need to hear. And women are not attracted to guys that aren't confident. They don't have a baseline level of confidence. Sorry. Okay. They are so emotionally tuned to reading the little micro expressions in your face, which tell what you're feeling inside, that they act accordingly to how you feel about yourself. It's the way nature designed it. I believe it goes back. A lot of it has to do with child rearing and sensing what that baby needs, because they're the primary caregiver when it comes to the baby. And then they have to detect threats. Is this man over here that's part of the tribe, is he going to be safe? Or is this man even part of the tribe? Is he going to hurt my baby? Okay. All kinds of stuff like that. Evolutionary biology at play. So if you're displaying awkwardness, weirdness, whatever, okay, to moderate, high degree, a little bit is probably okay. But if you're constantly, right, or you're too nervous to even interact and you're going to just cut yourself off, well, that's what you get. Okay. Just here to speak the truth. I didn't make the system how it works. I just decoded it. Okay. So get a social life if you don't have one. Start working on that ASAP, or expand it if it's not to your liking. Okay. Now, fourth point, still got a little time left. Okay. Fourth point here is, and by the way, you want to know more how to do that, trackclass.com. Get onto the training and watch it, okay? And we'll help you with this. So now we're talking about interacting without chasing, okay? The other side of being, underconfident is being too aggressive, right? Being too aggressive, chasing, pedestalizing, all that stuff, right? Now, truth be told, a guy who's a super chaser and is aggressive will get more results than better results than the guy that doesn't do anything at all, or avoids women, or can say a few things, but he kind of bails out, right? Or the women kind of bail out because they're like, I'm not feeling this, right? Just by sheer numbers. But you want to have that on balance, right? So interacting without chasing the woman, right? That's the letting them be attracted to you, letting them come to you. You have to let them chase. If you're chasing, they can't chase you. Okay. If you're pushing that agenda, it's very simple. Okay. Biology made men and women to want to come together and screw and procreate. Okay. And then have relationships so these things can continue. But it's that needy, it's that desperation, it's that, I got to push things forward, right? Now, again, you'll get better results by interacting and chasing than if you do nothing at all. But a lot of the time, what'll happen is the main thing that's improper about this is you create the wrong vibe. So everywhere you go, you're like, call it squirreling. It's like, oh, is she available? Is she available? Is she hot? Oh, she's hot. Oh, she's hot. It's very common, right? It's a very common thing. So you got to find on harmony. I know I said I don't like balance, so I'm using the word on balance, but whatever. Words can have multiple meanings, right? You have to find that on balance, okay? And last but not least is to, take everything that I've said here, right? And even in other lives and videos, and map out a plan. If you don't have a plan, then you don't know which direction you're going, okay? Unless you're already in action on this stuff, great. But map out a plan. Have a plan. Put one together. Can jot a few things down. Don't overthink it, because getting into action is one of the best things you can do, right? To just start things in a new direction in life, right? And to get your mojo back, to just start doing some things. And sometimes it's doing things that put you out of your comfort zone, okay? So if going to yoga class seems like way out of your comfort zone, then go do that. If going to learn how to sing or do improv comedy is out of your comfort zone, then go do that. The growth you'll experience by do something that you think, well, I couldn't do that because I'm this type of person. The growth is tremendous out of our comfort zone, right? Joining Toastmasters and learning to public speak, let's say. If you're a quiet person and you're not very good at speaking with words, right, which for me is not out of my comfort zone. Actually, the thing that's out of my comfort zone in Toastmasters is structured speeches. I was immediately good at what's called table topics, impromptu speaking, because I spent years as a musician jamming. I actually used to freestyle rap in the late 90s with my band, and we have Friday night parties together and jam and, other musicians, and just started doing that, right? For me, actually out of my comfort zone is more physical stuff, is more exercise stuff, is stuff like that. So, and I also know that on balance, like I still go to the gym and I do, but I don't love the gym. There are people that love the gym. I don't love pushing weights. It's just fucking boring to me. I still do it. And I'll do my push-ups and I'm doing chin-ups, which I suck at. I'm starting to try to do pull-ups, which is horrendous. My pull-up game is awful, but I know I got to do it. And actually that stuff's more fun than pushing those weights. And what's more fun is a class of some kind. I know that for me, because there's somebody that are pushing me to drive me. I actually get interaction. I'm forced to meet different kind of people than usually if I go out with my friends and out to the bars or whatever, right? Different kind of connection too, right? So, you want to put yourself outside your comfort zone. You don't want to go too drastic necessarily. I mean, you might, I encourage it, but it's outside of that comfort zone. It's our growth zone. Okay. There's a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck that talks about being the growth zone or the fixed mindset zone. And so many people live in fixed mindset. I'm just this way and it's just this way. And, oh, I've got this and that. And this is why it isn't happening. It's called the victim mentality. I can't stand it. My mind falls into it too. I'm in constant training of training myself out of this fucking victim mentality that we're all conditioned in. That we're not more powerful than we are, that we can't do more than we think we are. It's constant conditioning. And one of the worst things is school, unfortunately. And to me, because I've become an entrepreneur, I wish I would have, but I can't go back and change time, but like university to me is practically useless. Okay. To someone like me. To a very certain select few people, university is good. Technical school is good, right? If you're learning a certain craft, but other than that, what the hell? Liberal arts, come on, give me a break. You can study that on your own, okay? Actually, I had a wise poetry teacher who said, don't get a degree in creative writing. Get a degree in something that's more, engineering, scientific. And I got a degree in molecular biology of all things, which didn't end up being useful because I didn't go into being a doctor or a scientist, but it could have been. Okay. Learning is never about school, though. Learning is not about school. Learning is about learning. Learning is awesome. Learning is amazing. Learning is one of the best things we can do. School, horrible. Let alone they don't teach you about the three most important things that we need to get by in life: money, health, and relationships. We barely get anything in school on that, right? In basic school, it's crazy, guys. But the system isn't set up for us to succeed. It's set up for us to be a cog in the machine. Pink Floyd's The Wall, all that stuff, right? It's true. So you have to take responsibility for your own freaking life, your own confidence, and what you want to accomplish and achieve, right? So I know I'm preaching the choir to you high achievers here. You know that. I'm just going on a rant here for whatever reason, because it, drives me crazy. So map out the plan, right? Map out a plan. Put pen to paper, okay? And think about what you want and think about the next steps you're going to do to get out there socially, to improve your health, to improve whatever you need to improve, okay? And if you want help mapping out a plan, you can comment below with call and, or, send me a PM as well. And, just make sure you're a successful high achiever in type of guy, because that's what Core Confidence is about. That's who I help. That's who I work with, right? And we'll have a conversation, what's working, what's not working, your dating and love life, other areas of life too, if they're connected. Sometimes I talk to guys, they're like, everything's great in career and all this, or actually it's tip top, and I just need to work on the social relationships part and dating part. Other guys know I'm doing well, but I could do better, and I can see how this all connects. That happens too, okay? And so, yeah, and make sure to check out attractclass.com, Attraction on Command workshop, 5 attraction accelerators to help you really succeed in dating and relationships, being the type of guy that does that. And so today we talked about 5 things: getting your other areas of life on fire, passion and purpose. Is there something to it? Yeah, but taking even a little step in a new direction and not just buying into your own story and your own narrative and your own conditioning around, well, I'm just this type of person. I'm an overweight person, so that's just who I am, okay? Or I'm just way too skinny. I'll never be able to be stronger or more fit, or whatever that is. Whatever that is for you, okay? Well, I just am who I am, and I'll never be able to attract a woman who won't like me for me. I've got to find that woman who likes me for me. No, you have to improve some things about yourself, probably, which includes getting out there socially. I suggest you drop the dating apps. You're wasting your time as far as ROI on that, okay? You're going to get so much more out of life by getting into your life, into interactions with people. And Facebook is going to push you there anyway, so why not jump the gun on it, okay? And interacting, with women without chasing them, without having that needy, desperate, squirrely vibe, like to call it, and then map out a plan for what your next steps are. And of course, if you want my help doing that, you're a successful, high achieving guy, then put call below, okay? And so until next episode, we're complete.